Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9R Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Get a Grip by Gino Wickman is a practical guide for entrepreneurs who feel stuck between the vision for their company and the messy reality of running it. Built around the principles of the Entrepreneurial Operating System, the book addresses common frustrations in growing businesses, including lack of clarity, inconsistent execution, and teams that do not stay aligned. Rather than leaning on theory, Wickman focuses on simple tools and repeatable disciplines that help owners and leadership teams take control of priorities, accountability, and performance. The tone is action-oriented, aimed at helping companies create structure without losing the energy and creativity that make entrepreneurial organizations special. Readers can expect a clear framework for defining what matters most, turning goals into measurable plans, and creating meeting rhythms that keep everyone on track. It is positioned as a hands-on playbook for strengthening leadership, improving traction, and building a healthier, more predictable business. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, clarifying the vision so everyone pulls in the same direction. A central theme of the book is that many leadership teams assume they are aligned but operate with different interpretations of what the company is, where it is going, and how it will win. The Entrepreneurial Operating System approach emphasizes making the vision explicit, shareable, and measurable so it can guide day-to-day decisions. This includes sharpening the core focus of the organization, such as the company purpose and niche, and translating long-term ambitions into clear targets. The framework also encourages leaders to define a concise marketing strategy and a small set of core values that shape hiring, firing, and recognition. By documenting these elements and revisiting them regularly, the business replaces vague direction with a common language. That shared language reduces politics and second-guessing because people can test ideas against agreed priorities. The result is not just a poster on the wall, but a decision filter that helps teams say no to distractions, commit to a realistic plan, and rally around the same outcomes. Vision clarity becomes the foundation for execution because it tells the organization what matters and what does not. Secondly, building the right leadership team and accountability structure, the book highlights that growth often outpaces structure, leaving founders surrounded by hardworking people who may not be in the right seats. The Entrepreneurial Operating System stresses strengthening the leadership team first, then cascading accountability through the organization. Key ideas include defining a simple organizational structure that matches how the company must function, and assigning clear ownership for major roles and responsibilities. This helps eliminate the common trap where tasks float between departments, decisions stall, and problems become personal rather than structural. The emphasis is on matching people to roles based on capacity, commitment, and competency, not tenure or goodwill. When leaders agree on who owns what, they can hold one another accountable without micromanaging. The model also treats accountability as a support system, not a punishment system, because clarity makes it easier for capable people to succeed and for the company to spot gaps early. With the right people in the right seats and a clear structure, the business reduces friction, increases speed, and creates a platform that can scale without burning out the founder. Thirdly, creating traction through disciplined execution and measurable priorities. A major promise of the framework is helping entrepreneurial companies turn good intentions into consistent results. The book focuses on building execution muscle by narrowing attention to a small set of priorities, tracking the right numbers, and establishing a steady operating rhythm. Instead of sprawling plans that fade after a kickoff meeting, the method encourages setting a handful of short-term priorities that are specific, owned, and time-bound. Progress is made visible through simple scorecards that track leading indicators, allowing teams to diagnose issues early rather than react after a bad quarter. The approach also pushes leadership to break annual goals into quarterly commitments, which creates urgency and prevents strategic drift. This discipline helps businesses overcome the common pattern of working hard without moving the needle. When priorities are limited and measurable, teams can make trade-offs, focus resources, and finish what they start. Over time, traction becomes a cultural expectation, not a heroic sprint. The organization learns to execute as a system, which makes performance more predictable and reduces the chaos that often comes with growth. Fourthly, solving problems at the root instead of treating symptoms. The book emphasizes that many companies live in a loop of recurring issues, where the same complaints reappear in new forms. A core discipline in the Entrepreneurial Operating System is learning to identify, discuss, and solve problems in a structured way. The idea is to build a shared habit of surfacing issues quickly, prioritizing what truly matters, and addressing root causes rather than applying temporary patches. This includes separating the identification of issues from the act of solving them, so teams do not jump to solutions before agreeing on what is actually wrong. The framework also encourages leaders to be candid and objective, treating problems as business constraints to be removed, not personal failures to be defended. When teams get good at tackling the biggest issues first, they reduce noise and free up capacity for growth. Problem-solving becomes a repeatable process that improves decision quality and trust. Over time, the business experiences fewer surprises because issues are captured, owned, and resolved systematically, creating a calmer environment where strategy and execution can thrive. Lastly, running effective meetings and strengthening communication habits. Another major focus is that leadership communication is often the bottleneck in entrepreneurial companies. Meetings can be frequent yet unproductive, leaving teams unclear on priorities and next steps. The book promotes a meeting discipline that keeps leaders aligned and drives action, including establishing regular check-ins with consistent agendas and clear outputs. Rather than using meetings for status updates that could be shared elsewhere, the approach emphasizes reviewing key metrics, updating progress on priorities, and dedicating time to issue solving. This structure helps teams make decisions faster and prevents important topics from being endlessly postponed. The model also promotes cascading information through the organization so people know what the leadership team is focused on and how their work connects. Consistent meeting rhythms create reliability, which reduces the anxiety of not knowing where things stand. When meetings are run well, they become a force multiplier for execution and accountability. Leaders spend less time chasing updates and more time removing obstacles, coaching, and building the systems that allow the company to scale. In conclusion, this book is best suited for founders, owners, and leadership teams in small to mid-sized companies who want more control over growth, performance, and culture. It is especially useful for entrepreneurs who feel they are carrying too much, dealing with recurring people problems, or watching priorities shift faster than progress. The benefit to the reader is practical. It offers a clear operating framework that can reduce daily chaos, improve focus, and make results more predictable. By clarifying vision, strengthening accountability, measuring what matters, and building problem-solving and meeting disciplines, a business can become easier to run and more resilient under pressure. Compared to many management books that inspire but leave readers wondering what to do next, this one stands out for its structured, tool-based approach and its emphasis on leadership team alignment. It can also complement other business strategy titles by translating big ideas into a weekly and quarterly execution rhythm. For readers who want a straightforward system they can implement and repeat, it is worth buying as a practical playbook for building traction and getting more of what they want from their entrepreneurial company. If you would like to support Gino Wickman, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.